Hello everybody, Pinstripe here. Welcome back to the Hogs of War League Week 6 here with ADB versus Bobby. Now we're starting on the lake, so ADB is going for 2 sappers, a grenadier, a medic and a scout. So still looking for that poison trick. Meanwhile Bobby, as the Uncle Ham's Hogs, will be going for a paratrooper, it seems. Then he's going to go for a sapper. Of course, those are very much needed on a map like the lake. Plenty of minefields, plenty of water, plenty of ways to just knock enemies about, go crazy. And will Bobby be going for a gunner here? That's the interesting part. We have seen a lack of pyrotechs or gunners in the league so far. If you saw my match the other day, you would have seen that I didn't go with any gunners, which I kind of regret in the end. So he is going to go for a gunner, and then a grenadier, and finally a scout. So no medic on Bobby's team. But both players are raring to go. There has been what seems like a lack of practice time for a lot of players in the league so far, but that's mainly because of having to play one match a week. It does get pretty difficult to find the time to practice. But it will be ADB to go first with his scout. So immediately probably going to look to kill the pig to the right of him. As he mentioned in the match between me and Iron Fox, if you're stood there, it's a guaranteed kill if you are able to angle your TNT correctly, which is what he's going to do. And it's of course on the gunner as well, so some heavy damage to the heavy weapons. TNT goes down. And that could potentially be a kill here. Unless somehow he manages to get out of the mines. But it looks unlikely. Oh, gets blasted the wrong way. And that will be a kill to begin with. So advantage to ADB already. And Bobby is running away. He's probably going to go for the crate in the middle, which is a tricky one. No, he's going to ignore it. I was going to say, going for that crate is a risk, because you immediately put yourself in the middle of nowhere. But what does Bobby go for here? Does he go for the bazooka shot into the mines? It seems that way. And of course on the sapper. But is it enough? 30 damage. Does he slide down? No! Just next to the mines. He needed a little bit more power. And look at this. ADB is just going to pounce immediately. I thought he was going to plant another TNT. But with a multitude of sappers. I mean, he does only have 2, which, if people are interested to know, when it comes to the playoffs, the sappers will be limited to ×2 per team. That way we don't get a huge amount of stacking with the sappers, and it's not just a game of TNTs, which in some cases is the best strategy, but that is a good shot, again with the TNT, into a very dangerous area. Bobby manages to survive, but as you can see here, he's positioned on the edge. If he moves, then yes, he is a goner. So immediately skipping his turn. Can't do anything there. And ADB is sitting comfortable so far. He's got Bobby on the back foot, immediately getting the kill, which is tricky on the lake. Because if you go first, then usually you're at an automatic advantage, especially if the other player has some rather unlucky spawn points. But that's just Hogs of War. Each map has a whole bunch of spawn points. And look at that cluster bomb there. Gets him up onto the cliffs, but he's going to run back down. Hopefully not into the mines. Oh, very close, but the grenadier down to 39 health. So I imagine that Bobby will be looking to collect health crates wherever possible. Although he is wandering away from the area where they usually spawn in later in this match. But where does he go from here? He's going to need to pull something out of the hat and make it snappy. So looking to bounce him into the mines. Not quite. Does get the full 60, but not quite enough knockback. And down comes the guided missile, which is immediately what the orderly is going to go for, which makes him even more scary. times 2 guided missiles, tranquilizers, healing hands. What more do you want? So there should be a trank on the cards here. He doesn't need to do anything too crazy. And I think he's going to take on the scout. Remove Bobby's ability to poison, which is the next best thing, sorry, considering that Bobby doesn't have an orderly. And look who it is. It's the enemy scout. So pigs are fairly spread out. ADB has the positional advantage, given how close he is to areas where weapon crates drop down, where health drops down. And he's going to be keeping an eye on that as much as possible. Does slip, but he should get this shot away just about. Just enough. And it's back to Bobby. So what does he do here? Does he scoop? He jetpacks instead. I don't think that has enough range. He might land in the mines here. Yeah, undershoots it slightly. It's going to be a close one. Can he make it out? Doesn't look like it. Lands just too short as his pig does a Tony Hawk 360. It was more than that, but you saw. He was like dead weighting. But yeah, that jetpack was not enough. And again, guided missiles coming out. He's going to be wary of the health crate. Probably get some of that, then his Grenadier will be boosted a little bit, but look at the positioning here. The Grenadier could be killed by the rocket launcher. The Sapper's not going anywhere because he's stuck on the mines and is, well, essentially dead. And the paratrooper just then taking some unnecessary damage as ADB is destructive. And unfortunately, Bobby doesn't have any real way of retaliating. As like I said, if you move, he will detonate a mine and that will be the end of him, but it's a double-edged sword, really. Because ADB can just ignore him and he'll continue to skip his turn. So he turns his attention to the scout. Again, TNTs are ripe in this game so far, but ADB using them to great advantage. And considering his amount of pigs he still has left, the health he has, doesn't need to worry too much about positioning, as the scout is also going to be a crispy critter. So Bobby's going to collect this guided missile, so he could get a kill on the Sapper here. Just a little bit, a little something. 75 damage total. It's a good hit, full maximum, and 45 on the orderly, and additional damage on the scout. So good use of the guide missile there. It's still 4 versus 3, but in my eyes it's kind of 4 versus 2, as like I said, the Sapper just stuck on the mines. And positioning here is key on the lake because, well, you see Bobby's position right here. He has mines all around him. The Grenadier is near, and he is toast. So ironically, the health drops down, but he cannot get to it. He's going to swim backwards. There's no way he can really go. Looks to swim around. The only option he could really have, but not enough health to do it, and drowns in the process. So a very quick first round. ADB taking it on the lake, and we're going to move to Pig in Hell, which is another tough map, especially because of how barren and dry and sometimes boring it can be. So on to Pig in Hell, and ADB will be looking to change things up. Maybe not his entire team, but at least the order of things, with a Grenadier, Paratrooper, Sapper, a Medic, and finally a Scout. Dramatic pause. But meanwhile, Bobby will be changing things up a little bit, going for a Sapper, then a heavy weapons. So sticking with the heavy weapons theme, a Scout, another Sapper, and finally it will be an orderly. So he is going for the healing option here. But like I said, Pig in Hell is just a desolate wasteland. It's a tough map to do, and to do it well. There's just so many things that can happen, but because of how barren it is, it makes it incredibly tricky. You need to get pigs near the water if you want to do additional damage. And yeah, there's just so many strategies you can do, but because it's just, you know, pigs versus pigs, there's nothing else that can help you on this map. It's all about your positioning and how you start things off. So Bobby is to go first. So he does have the advantage. But who does he go for? The Orderly will be dangerous. The Grenadier is dangerous, of course. Interestingly, ADB has some ability with the Paratrooper, and that's something I've noticed about Bobby's game since the start of the league. Just watching his tactics, he seems to prioritize the Sapper quite a lot. I don't know if that's intentional, but immediately goes for him. He's not too threatening. He has mobility. He can damage pigs with jetpacks. If a Paratrooper were to use all of his jetpacks and a direct shot with the bazooka, then they can put out a maximum of 100 damage in a single turn. But once that's over, they have no more jetpacks. They only have machine gun, cattle prod, and a bazooka to rely on. So you kind of risk losing mobility, losing your damage, rather than slowly dealing 60 damage per turn. As you could do one bazooka and one jetpack in combination with each other. But ADB starting with the Grenadier, that's a strong start. Decent hit with the cluster bomb on the Orderly. So I think Bobby's going to look to go after him, get him away from his medic. He is, of course, dangerous with the mortar. And I think he's going to look to nudge him towards the water, but it goes a little bit too central, goes too far one side, and he does get the maximum hit, but doesn't move his position. So the Grenadier runs back on, down to 80 health, the Sapper damaging the Paratrooper earlier, so he's down to 81. And ADB's going to ignore him. No, he's going to come back to him. Thought about it. Move backwards. Goes for the jetpack. But hits off the corner of the invisible wall of the boundary. And like I said, he's going for that 60 damage per turn with the jetpack. And then the bazooka also getting full damage with that. Bobby needs to poison here, I think. He needs to go find the Orderly and poison him. He's going to go with the sniping option, which as we know he is extremely accurate with, and that will be a hit on the enemy Sapper, down to 110. So I think if Bobby can keep his scout concealed somewhere on the map, then there could be some interesting strategies. But I think ADB is not going to let that happen, especially when you consider the scout's position here. Positioned right over the water. But no, he's going to go immediately for the Orderly, it seems. Get the kill. I believe he has 40 or so health. No, 52, I think. But is that enough to knock him in the water? Bearing in mind that Bobby's Orderly is very low down in his order. Down to 2 health. And falls in the water. ADB gets the kill. And that's the trouble with having your Orderly down in the lower half of your lineup. You risk not being able to do anything with them, not being able to heal or trank or anything. So I think Bobby's going to retaliate here with the same option. And hopefully we'll look to knock him in the water here. Needs to use those environmental areas as much as possible, because that is the only environmental area on Pig in Hell. Everyone's going to congregate around the watering hole as the Grenadier takes full damage, a little bit in the water as well, and there could be a poison on the cards here unless, yes, ADB immediately realizing that that could be a possibility in future, and will look to heal the Grenadier to at least 40. I mean, that's that's the max he can do. He can only heal once per turn, so he will be boosted up to 42. And ADB could smell... Oop! Presses it a little bit too soon. But you are allowed to try again. If you fail with your healing, he takes a little bit too much time and dead weight jumps. Did you see that? Parkour skills. Crazy times. Maybe a little bit of internet lag, who knows. But Bobby is going to take full advantage of this. And will be looking to, I'm guessing, kill the Grenadier. But the Orderly positioned in an awkward place as well. So will it be the Orderly or will it be the Grenadier? I think it has to be the Grenadier. He's way more of a scary target. Can deal hefty damage. And Bobby taking the advantage of ADB's Orderly running out of time. And it is now 4v4. So like I said, everyone seems to be congregating around the watering hole. But we mustn't forget about ADB Scout as well. He'll be looking to poison, considering that Bobby doesn't have an Orderly. So ADB does have that advantage. And he's going to poison the Scout as well. Goes against it though, goes to Snipe instead. And I think if Bobby is looking to poison, he needs to poison ADB's Orderly. That way he can't heal himself. He guarantees himself at some point during this game a possible extra turn. But where does he turn to now? Who does he turn to target? He doesn't want to be too close. He wants to get away from the watering hole. Doesn't want to waste too much time either. Only got 15 seconds left. And he's going to rely on the mortar here and get the enemy scout. But again, the Orderly is the most dangerous guy at the moment. He can really put a wrench in Bobby's plans later on. And that mortar's going to fall a little bit short. But he might get some extra splash. No, only 39 damage. But it is damage nonetheless. So everyone kind of forgot about the paratrooper, but he is down to 81. So the difficult thing for ADB is that he doesn't want to position himself too close to the water. He needs to stay away from there as much as he can, but he also doesn't want to be too far away that he ends up missing a shot. So a little bit indecisive from ADB, which is quite surprising. Normally he's immediately on what he wants to do, but took a little bit more time than usual thinking about his next move, but does get the full amount of damage. And Bobby here, will he go for the Orderly? Or will he go for the Scout? He seems to be thinking a lot here. Could look to body block, but he does do the vital move, but that might be a little bit short. No, just about. Those kind of shots scare me a little bit. If the pig is standing on a hill that's angled in a certain way, you need a little bit more extra power in your throw. And while Bobby proved me wrong there. But there could be a lot of damage here if ADB manages to drop this TNT behind the sapper. Get him into the water. And that could potentially be a kill. Depends on how far he lands from the water's edge. And that could be a kill here. He might... No, I don't think he's going to make it. No, it's a definite kill there. So good use of the TNT placement again from ADB. And he has the advantage once more. Bobby doing the same thing. Everyone, like I said, around the watering hole. And that is also going to be a ton of damage. With the poison as well. Orderly down to 125. This 50 will nudge him down to 75. And he lands in the middle as he swims towards his comrade. Down to 25 health. So ADB looks to heal the Scout. May as well get some healing in before his Orderly perishes. And if I know ADB, I know that he's not going to want to lose a turn wherever possible. So instead he's going to body block and get the trank on the scout. So it does get the damage away, and it's back to the gunner, who is kind of going to be battling, I think, the paratrooper. Nope, he's going to change his attention elsewhere. And Bobby, looking at the orderly, changes his mind. Mustn't forget about... Ooh, goes for the flamethrower. This will be a ton of damage if he knocks him in. This is, of course, the major benefit. Oh, look at that damage. Major benefit of the heavy weapons when you're positioned near water. 27 health. And a good move there from Bobby. Not what I was thinking. I thought he was going to body block. Maybe go for the sapper. Proved me wrong, of course. But ADB... Ooh, looking to get some poison on the scout and potentially kill his own medic. If he can get the double. If he kills his own orderly, which he does, he will then get the extra damage. So 35 on the sapper. And he ensures he doesn't lose a turn, but Bobby does, and he's down to 95. According to the bar, Bobby is winning, but that has changed things dramatically as the sapper is down to 75, and those jetpacks from earlier on from the paratrooper coming in here, and he drops him down towards the water. Could be just a simple scoop. No, uses both of them, drops him in the water, and looks to gain an extra turn as he drops down to 6 health. Some beautiful moves here from ADB. Goes for the full power low shot. Drops the gunner into the water. Down to 59, and Joey Bob, well, good night. That will be some more damage on the gunner. Doesn't fall in the drink, but 14 damage. And immediately the scales turn in favor of ADB. So the gunner down to 45. The scout all alone on 95 health. And he's going to look to nudge him even more. So it is 3v2. Bobby isn't out of this completely, but it's not looking too good here. As ADB positions himself kind of close to his own scout. The scout is on low health anyway. And Bobby falls in the water as well. So he's down to 38. So what in the world does Bobby do here? The sapper's on 110 health. You remember he shot him with the sniper shot earlier. So I think Bobby's going to play it safe, go with the mortar. He's not out of this one just yet. We've seen crazier things so far in the league. Comebacks are always a thing. And that's going to be a ton of damage. Immediate 50. The scout is dead. Sapper's now down to 60 health. But the paratrooper on 81 will look to gain another turn. He doesn't want the enemy scout taking his go, I assume. The last thing he wants is to be poisoned, or worse, shot in the face with the sniper rifle. So ADB thinking about this one. That could be dangerous. That will nudge his health down to 18. But if Bobby plays his cards right here and positions himself close to the enemy... I'm trying to think, I'm working it out in my head as I go along here. But he might look to position himself close to the sapper and maybe shoot the paratrooper. I don't know. I mean, considering the paratrooper just took his turn, I'd position myself next to the paratrooper. That way you body block him, and on your next go, you ensure that you die next to him, deal damage, and that's going to be a hell of a throw. Bounties gets the double. So an awesome play there from Bobby, as Muskie drops down to 35. But I think ADB's going to play cleanup and look to nudge his health down to 15. Considering that Bobby is going to lose a turn anyway, it looks like ADB might take this one. I mean, despite that awesome poison throw, it's a tough one. Again, ADB's pig down to, I think, 60. Yeah, 66. I was trying to do maths. So Bobby again, just looking to drop Snowski, hopefully in the water, if he can get this full on as well. He does indeed 50 damage. Does he fall in? Down to... Oh, down below. 7. Drops to 7. So they will both lose a turn, but it's going to come back to ADB anyway. And oof, that one came down to the wire. ADB should be able to see this out here, but just about. Bobby fighting back, and he's going to finish it with a punch. There's another wonderful mortar shot from Bobby. Oop, slips down, taking maybe a little bit too much time. Doesn't want to draw this out any longer than it has to be. Gets the final punch. The gunner, the last man standing. And ADB will take this game 2-0. So very well played from both players. Bobby, of course, fighting back there, looking to take the round on Pig in Hell, but it was a very close one. But in the end, ADB is victorious. He will move up in the table. Bobby is now 1 win, 5 losses, but there are still 2 weeks left after this one. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts on this match in the comments. Plenty more to come this week. Hope you can check out the others. And we'll catch you later for the next match.